My childhood neighbor harassed me since I was a kid, so I set a trap and nailed his confession on tape. 2 years later, he tried to blackmail me with new evidence, and I had it sealed as Exhibit A. I was tanning by the pool with a book covering my face when someone walked up to me and licked my shoulder. It was a part of my skin that was extremely raw and sunburned, so my immediate reaction was to slap him. I didn't even realize it was a child until I heard the tears. His nose had somehow already started to bleed, and everybody turned to face us. "Yo, did that just hit a child?" I heard one of the guys yell, and before I could say anything, the kid just yelled, "This cell just hit me." Suddenly, his dad came stomping over towards me and handed me a piece of paper. "Write down your contact details because we're suing you." Well, I had just downed 7 glasses of Aperol Spritz, so I was in no position to argue. Drunk me wrote down my full name, address, and phone number. They left right after, and I was so woozy that I tried to go back to sleep. Except when I woke up, my bikini wasn't on anymore, and I was completely unclothed. Luckily, the pool was completely empty, and no one had seen other than a creep jerking it on the other side of the pool. I immediately covered up and went inside. Like, what the actual F was going on? I felt like I was in a bad dream or something. I tried to take a cold shower and sober up, when suddenly black vomit began to pour out of my throat. There was so much liquid, it could have hydrated the entire continent of Africa. That's when I realized my drink had been spiked. I immediately turned on my phone, trying to research my symptoms and find out what substance I had taken. And that's when I noticed my phone had been spammed with notifications. Instagram was the first app I clicked. I had gained 99 plus followers with dozens of DM requests. Someone had posted my unclothed body by the pool on my page and tagged all of my followers in the comment section, including my boyfriend. I thought back to that kid, the details I had written down. I had to stop myself from punching a hole in the wall with my skull because I had felt so guilty for hitting his child that I not only gave away every social media handle I had, but the passwords for each account too. And now here he was ruining my life, and I had no one to blame but myself. After burying my head in my hands and having a "why does this shit always happen to me" moment, I tried to delete everything. And I guess he had noticed that I was active because suddenly I was logged out and the password was changed too. I splashed some cold water in my face and pinched myself until I bruised just to prove to myself that I wasn't hallucinating. I tried to FaceTime my boyfriend and explain what happened. "Oh, thank gosh you picked up." "I don't want to hear it," he interrupted. He told me that we had already talked about me and revealing clothing, and I was an effing embarrassment. And when I broke down in tears, trying to explain everything, he burst out laughing right in my face. "This is actually a really entertaining lie, but for you." He then hung up and blocked me on everything. That's when I finally got the text that explained everything. It was an unknown number, but I'd recognize that form of writing anywhere. I knew it was my ex-neighbor Tom. It read, "May I inquire whether you are now prepared to formally accept my offer?" As soon as I read it, I grabbed the pillow of the hotel room and started banging it against the walls. You see, Tom was a guy that lived beside my childhood home. I was 5, and he was 12 when we started hanging out. And I always saw him as a sort of big brother. But when I turned 8, he brought me flowers and asked me to be his girlfriend. And even though I was a child, I knew it was wrong because my teacher had given us dozens of talks on grooming and age-appropriate relations. So I told him no, but that we could still be friends. I still remember the coldness in his voice when he replied with, "Don't worry, one day you'll change your mind." At the time, I shrugged it off, not knowing the weight of his words. But ever since then, he has made my life hell. He has turned every friend that I've made against me, got me expelled from high school, pulled strings to make every community college in the tri-state area blacklist me from attending. I tried to get a restraining order, but he had cleared all the evidence, and the police thought he was just some misunderstood boy who had a crush on me. So now here I was, 20 years later, trying to start a new life in a whole different continent, and Tom was still alive and stalking me, punishing me for rejecting him all those years. Ego, still trying to change my mind.